professors and course developer. Here's what I'm looking for when you create a rubric. So here is an example. So we have here an assignment. In this assignment, the students are supposed to write a 1,200-word essay. And they're supposed to do these things over here. So they're supposed to explain whether PEZ Candy Incorporated did something. They're supposed to provide something, an example. They're supposed to explain something about PEC candy. And they're supposed to explain whether or not something by illustration here. And they're supposed to analyze something here as well. So here are the instructions for this assignment. The way we transform these instructions into an essay or into a rubric is by pretty much copy and pasting each of the requirements into a rubric criteria here. Here are the rubric criteria, and you just pretty much gonna copy these instructions or these criteria into each of the criteria here. For example, the first one it says, explain whether PEZ Candy Incorporated is going to be more likely to use job costing or process costing for the manufacture of its PEZ candies. If not, explain why not. So I'm going to copy and paste that criteria into a rubric. And as you can see, I've already done that. Here it says the student explain whether PEZ Candy Incorporated is going to be more likely to use job costing or process costing for the manufacture of its PEZ candies. If not, the student explain why not. So I actually took this criteria and transformed it into a criteria for the rubric. Now, the ratings should remain the same. I want all the ratings to be standards across all courses. So when the student meets all the criterion, I want them to get 100% of the points for that criterion. 100% here. Here we want 80%. This one we want 65%, and this one we got 0%. So that's what we want. That's the rating that I want for all courses. So 100, 80, 65, 0. And of course, you have the criteria here. Here's another criteria. So look at the next one. It says, providing an example of which of the following types of costs that PEZ Candy would likely incur. So as you can see, here's the criterion, and here's the criterion in the rubric. Okay, and this one it says the student provide an example of each of the following types of costs that PEZ Candy Incorporated would be likely to incur in the manufacture of its PEZ candies. It's pretty much the same as this one here. Okay, and then you do the same for all the rest. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criteria here. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criteria. And of course, there's a criteria here for the length of the essay. Here we know the essay is supposed to be 1,200 words. So here is a criteria that says that paper is at least 1,200 words. Then of course we have does the paper follow AP guidelines? It's going to have this all mechanics. Okay. Now, if your assignment is quantitative in nature, it's like it's actually if it's one of the business analytic course and it's a project, it's not really an assignment, but it's actually a project, then you most likely don't need to include the length of the paper. You don't need to include APA or mechanics because the students are not going to be creating an essay. Instead, they're going to be submitting a project to you for grading. When that happens, when the students submit a project, make sure that whatever criteria, whatever it is that you want the students to complete or do, you want to make sure that you translate that into criterion here. And since it is not an essay, then you don't need this. You don't need the length of the paper. You don't need whether or not they follow APA guidelines. You don't need to know whether or not they're actually writing the grammar is correct, the spelling is correct. You only include those things, you include this criteria only if it's an essay. If it's a project, you don't need to include that into a rubric. And that's what I'm looking for when you create rubrics. Make sure that everything is standardized, the ratings are standardized, that way there is no confusion. Okay, make sure the total points equal, the total points for each assignment is the same. Here, this assignment is worth 10 points. So the total points here is 10 points. And that's what I'm looking for in rubrics. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Send me an email. Take care.